I'm so glad I could make it. I'm so glad you all could make it. Because Jeffrey is regaling you with tales of hanging upside down. Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, Back to the Future, kind of a cultural touchstone, and all three of you have had a part in being involved in that. I guess I'll start with you, Harry, because you've got a bit of overlap between the films.
Oh, I guess I do.
Yeah.
But Jeffrey has the other overlap.
You have the other overlap.
Yeah, we connect
Yes.
one, 2, 2, 3.
Yes, that's right. So,
Finally. Johnny Sandwich.
let's start with you.
Good afternoon.
So you're brought in for the audition. What was it like? What was it like, being approached and
40 years ago. You want me to tell this story again? Hi!
You can make it up if you need to.
I can make it up?
Yeah.
The truth is so much more interesting. At the time, I was doing a musical in Los Angeles, and it was about teenagers, and I was like the oldest teenager, kind of like you in the world. And this asked me to come in and sing 36 bars. I'll just do this really quick. Can you mind if I sing this?
Do it.
Bird flying high, you know how I feel. Sun up in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Feeling good. You're one of the second group of people I've ever done that for, just to let you know. I don't know why, but it just came out. But then I had to come back and I got to meet with Bob Zemeckis, and we talked about theater. We didn't even look at the script. I had no idea that this was a movie about time travel. I just knew that there was a singer that was going to be singing it at a dance. And the next day, well, New Year's Eve of 1984 was when I got the call to come in and do this. And I had no idea what it was about, except when I got to the stage. And the sound stage, which is still in the church at Hollywood Methodist Church there on Franklin and Highland in Los Angeles. You can still go there. The same stage is there. The same little area where I make the phone call is still there. And it was the most fun you could possibly have, legally, in 1985. So it was, because we had a live band, so there were 4, and these were great musicians. They weren't actors, they were just musicians that they hired. We became good friends. We played all of the songs during rehearsals, like The Freaks Come Out at Night. Some of you are old enough to know that song yet. But we were doing it live with all like 200 dancers, and so it became a party that we were having there. So that became so much more fun that I was getting paid to have a party. And at the time, because it's 1985, they didn't have cameras in your phone that you could do 3D. And they had to program all of these cameras in particular to do, as they call it, the $10,000 shot where his hand is fading away. That you can probably do right now, on your phone. Go like, yeah, I can make that happen. Some app will do it, or AI will do it, of course. That was part of the magic of being there and watching them do this kind of work, because no one else was doing it at the time. And it was so much fun being around the technicians, the cameramen, Dean, Kandi, and wow, the amazing people. To have them at the top of their game working on this, but they were so nice. And I think it all had to do a lot with Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale, who are 2 of the nicest human beings in the planet, that the whole atmosphere was like so warm. Everybody was having a good time. Everybody was friendly. Yeah, everybody was, you should have been there.
I wish I had.
You would have had a good time.
I was probably about 13 years old at the time.
Oh, yeah, we had to sneak you in.
That could have been a problem.
You could have been. But the idea of being on that set at the time was amazing, because I didn't know what the movie was about. And I will say that one of the other things I was reminded of this just the other day is that Chuck Berry had not given permission to use his song when we started shooting. So we couldn't shoot the dance yet, but they were waiting until he was going to say yes, because Chuck pay me. And he was infamously known for, if you're gonna use my music, you're gonna pay me. So they were literally down to the wire waiting, and then they could do the scene with Marty playing the song. Yeah. So that's one of the stories, and I'll pass it on to Skateboard Boy.
Indirectly, but also directly responsible for the invention of the skateboard. So,
Yes, sir.
so
He'll take it.
as a child working, as a child actor working on that film, what was that experience like for you?
Man, it was something else, man. So I was a huge Michael J. Fox fan at the time from Family Ties. I mean, a diehard fan. So yeah, we shot it with Eric Stoltz for 2 weeks, right? And I thought that was it. You know, see you later, no big deal. And then one night, I'm watching TV. The phone rings. My mom answers the phone. She's like, "Oh, what? You want him back? Who? Michael J. Fox? Huh? Okay, we'll be there Tuesday." Click, and then she's like, "You're going back to work with Michael J. Fox on the movie." And I just, I just started like bouncing off walls. I was on the kitchen countertop and on the tabletop, and then on top of the sofa. I was just like, it was like my Bruce Lee impersonation, just bouncing all over the place. I was really cloud nine, I used to wear ties to school in 5th grade because I was a huge nerd. Yeah, and I mean, I really idolized Michael J. Fox at that point, and they would beat me up for wearing the ties, but I'd wear them anyway. Yeah, I was serious. Yeah. So long story short, I show up at the set. And like, there he is, my idol, and I'm like, wow, yeah, man, it was huge, man. And so then I'm like, okay, so when can we run some lines, we practice a little bit here. And so I got to hang out with Bob Schmelzer, who was the skateboard stunt double for Eric Stoltz and Michael also. And so we'd be doing the skateboarding in between scenes, and then I got to work with Michael. And it's just amazing. I mean, I can remember it like it was yesterday, essentially, And he was like, "Hey kid, you want to smoke a cigarette?" I was like, "Yeah." let me just ask my mom. And he's like, "No, I'm just kidding, kid." It was like, threw me around. I was like a little guy. Gee whiz, I don't know, maybe 60 pounds or something wet. He just like tossed me off the skateboard and. Just a great time. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
And ignore that. The fact that you were a fan too, and then getting to act with him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like I was not expecting that.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
It turns out. Yeah.
All bad.
So literally a dream come true.
That's
so
amazing.
yeah.
And did you? I mean, probably not much, but did you ever end up meeting up with Michael J. Fox afterwards and going, "Hey, remember me?"
No, I mean, surprisingly, our lives took different paths at that point. But yeah, no, we see him around at the reunions and such. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, he's always in my prayers.
Came into the series of Back to the Future for a very interesting turn of events. So how did
Nicely put.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turn of events, you got to go back to 1983. I was doing a film at the 82. I screen tested for the lead in War Games when Martin Brest was the original director. Got a pretty good agent at that time, and finally started working on Twilight Zone movie with John Lithgow. And in '83, I did a film at the American Film Institute with Dan O'Hurley and an actor who I found quite fascinating named Crispin Glover. And he also wore Italian boots, which I wear, and so we exchanged numbers and tried to stay in touch. And in '84, I co-starred with Clint Eastwood in Pale Rider. And I wanted to see what the summer competition was. And I heard about Back to the Future, of course, and I'd been cast in All the Right Moves with as Tom Cruise's stoner buddy, but the part was written out just a couple of weeks before we went into production, but I knew who Leah Thompson was. And so I loved what Chris Lloyd was doing, I loved what Mike Fox was doing, and then Crispin came on the screen, I was like, oh my God, I know that guy. And as soon as the film was over, I went home and called him and congratulated him. Didn't really talk to him for a few years, and then in '88 I got a call. do you know who Crispin Glover is? From a look-alike agent. I'd been playing Stanley Laurel and Charlie Chaplin and Groucho Marx at Universal Studios in Hollywood. So if you had a picture with one of those characters, it might be me. And I said, no, Crispin's taller than me, he's probably heavier. What's this for? The Back to the Future sequel? I'm not at liberty to say. But I needed work at the time, and it was to actually be a photo double. And I figured they needed George at multiple places at the same time. Like Mike had to be in different characters, and Tom as well. And went and met with the assistant directors. That went well. I told them I know how to be on a set and so on and so forth. And then I went to casting and was asked to audition the scene from the first film where Marty and George are hanging the laundry. And I did that, and that went well. And then I started being sent to make up prosthetic fittings and body cast fittings, and then did a screen test in the young George makeup for Dean Cundey and Robert Zemeckis. And I remember Zemeckis saying to Dean, "What do you think, Dean?" And Dean saying, "I think we have Crispin without the trouble." I said, "What does that mean?" And I had called Crispin. I said, you know, say a good word for me. I need the work. And he didn't call me back until part 3 came out. Anyway, that's basically how I got it through that screen test, I think. And you know, as we were shooting, I learned, of course, from production side what a pain Crispin had been. You know, he didn't really want Ken Chase, the makeup designer, to cut his hair. And he fell asleep in his chair once, and Ken got some hair that was in the way for his makeup, and Crispin woke up and threw a fit. Or, you know, he would disappear when the production needed him, so and so. They tell me their stories. Later on, Crispin told me his story. So I was literally caught between a weird rock and a hard place in Hollywood in this tug of war of power. And while we were shooting, the pizza in the 4 seconds of the hydrated pizza, ding. I'm in this body cast to do this effect. One time I'm not being hung upside down on wires, but rather I'm hung upside down in a body cast. And Spielberg came up to me and said, "So Crispin, I see you got your $1 million after all." I was like, I actually went to kick Steven, and the body cast kept my leg from kicking him. Anyway, it was an awkward thing for me, and when part 3 came out, Crispin called me and said, "You know, it wasn't fair what they did." And I said, "Tell me." And he told me his side of many stories that I won't go into, but well, yeah, Bob Gale made him cry in front of some extras once. This is the first time I told this story in public. Anyway, Crispin will never talk about this stuff, so I will. He told me first it wasn't right that they used close-ups of him from the first film cut with my work as young George, knocking out Biff and kissing Lorraine on the dance floor with Mr. Barry singing, and I said, "That's ridiculous. The highest grossing film of '85, they're going to pay you scale. Even they're going to pay him scale, which is at the time $1,100, I think, for reuse. That's horrible." And then he's let me know he didn't give his permission for use of his life mask in my makeups. I said, "Now that's immoral." So I gave him my photos and my stories of Spielberg, and he ran with it to his attorney, and he got his money before it went to court, and settled for $750,000. That's it.
And where's your
Unfortunately, that came out in depositions and stuff, and Universal found out about that, and I got blacklisted. So it was a real pain for an actor who's trying to raise 2 kids to find that out, and my life went into a tailspin. But I got back on track, and I finally got discovered by the fans, and so here I am.
So the fans are the reason that we're here. I mean, that's the other thing that's really, that has, so that's, I think that's one of the amazing things about Back to the Future, is that it goes across cultures as well. I mean, we've been to many places around the world, and I'm really sort of grateful for that. Jeffrey's been probably more places than I have, but so, Yeah. And Johhny's about to hit the golden nugget, I'm sure, because they've been waiting for the skateboard kid to get out there.
I might do it.
One of the things for me, the rewards is working with such greats. I, of course, was like you, a huge Michael J. Fox fan, huge Chris Lloyd fan from Taxi, and then Buckaroo Banzai, and so on and so forth. You know, Roger Rabbit, and that Vista Glide camera that spliced the film inside it, so Tom or Mike could play multiple parts. It had only worked once before, and that was on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But you know, I worked with Harry in the scene, but we never met while we were shooting.
No.
But later on, when the fans discovered us and started bringing us to shows, I learned that Harry was in the original production of Angels in America.
Which is another theater thing.
And to me, that, for me, is huge because of the impact of that beautiful art, that incredible. And I won't talk about the Alice in Wonderland thing you did.
Adventures in Wonderland?
Adventures in Wonderland for Disney.
If anyone has a Disney Channel back in the 90s, there was a show called Adventures in Wonderland. It was a live action singing and dancing Alice and the Rabbit and the Tweedles and the Red Queen. You can still get it on YouTube. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. We have 99 episodes. There was one episode with that no one will ever see again because O.J. Simpson was in it. He was a nice person when we did the show. Yeah. But I think that's the other thing is that we also run into each other in this business in different ways. I mean, I sort of left the business for a while because I went into higher ed, you know, going back to get a degree as a senior citizen and then being hired to teach at McAllister College for like 20 years. And so now I just retired from that. So this is like a new career to me because I get to I love teaching, as you can probably tell. Because I was going to ask people questions, but I will resist that. Because I don't know, so where are you all from?
If we had more time, I would totally allow it.
Okay, I'm going to give it back to you now.
Oh, no, I have nothing to say. Keep going.
Johhny, talk.
So,
Where are you from, Johhny?
Yeah, from Hollywood area. Yeah, so I grew up in the film business. I got in when I was 4 years old. Started working on like Mattel commercials and everything, and then you know, I like to talk about my film work as an actor, what films I've been in, and you know, working with Sir Anthony Hopkins and all these talented, but nobody cares.
No,
You know,
yeah, we do.
they only want to hear about Back to the Future.
No, that's
okay.
okay.
So-
And-
Open it up. Open it up.
So, but you know, if you try to analyze Back to the Future from a scientific point of view, it's very challenging because it's got so many elements. It's like if you try to label it a certain way, I find it's almost impossible. So for whatever reason, it's a film that it seems to be timeless, you know. So very very blessed to be a part of a timeless film, and you know, I'm very honored. So you know, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of doing conventions like this is that there is such an appreciation for, you know, the roles that you have and the projects that you're involved in. Because there is a real sense of nostalgia, like you pointed out.
Yeah.
Multiple generations here for one film, so that's, I mean, it's amazing that you guys can do that. I know the fans appreciate it, and clearly you guys do too. So.
And Jeffrey has now brought the microphone to the audience.
We have a few minutes for questions. We're short on time, so any questions? Oh, here, let me come to you.
For Harry, I wanted to ask for the Johhny Be Good scene.
Yeah.
In both 1 and 2, how many times did you guys at the film that scene?
A bit of history. So, the phone call, which was the last shot of the day, at my last day of working on the film, we had finished doing the dance. This is in 1985. I think it was February. Oh my God, I can't remember. Everyone was gone except me and the crew and Zemeckis. And so we're in that little area where the phone call is taking place. And we dial it. He says, action. Chuck, it's Marvin, your cousin Marvin Barry. You know the sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this. Cut, print, done. One take.
One day.
So I never knew that it could happen like that something that simple that would last so long. So it's something that's a major moment that I get to kind of hold on to in making that song be sort of problematic, as some people say. It's like, so did Michael J. Fox invent the blues? No, it's a movie. It just is. Other questions?
Okay, so let me straighten out an urban legend. George McFly was hung upside down in the future to disguise it was a different actor. How many believe that? Oh, good. Never mind, then I don't have to explain it. No, apparently, and Mike backs this up in his new book, Crispin, who's a very intense actor and he's quite wonderful, he couldn't often, he would miss his marks for camera and focus and framing. In fact, when they did that hanging the laundry scene in the backyard at the first film, Mike talks about in his new book that they put sandbags and C-stands to kind of rein him in, keep him.
Oh.
And so the Bobs, having this trouble with Crispin, said, well, how do we keep him in frame and control his movements in the new movie? Let's have George, his back go out, and we'll put him in this ortholev of the future, and that way we can control him. So there was a track from outside the front door, through the living room, through the dining room, TV room, into the kitchen, that I was, luckily, hung upside down for a better part of 2 weeks. And after the first day, Zemeckis said, is there anything we can do so we don't have to get him down in between takes? And so Don Elliott, who got the Academy Award for Life of Pi, my effects guy from ILM, he built on a ladder a board, and at the end of a take he would say, Jeffrey, do a sit-up. So I do a sit-up, they'd put the board under me, I lie back down, and everyone would leave the set and go for coffee, and I'd be on the set twirling my thumbs for 10 minutes and 15 minutes. Then we go back to work. When doing the dining room, you know, it's pass your sister the iced tea, so Marty Jr. passes to Marty Sr. to Marlene. So the camera spliced the film inside it. We'd shoot Marty Sr. and Marty Jr. and Marlene separate, but in between, you know, it took Michael 3 to 4 hours to change makeup and costume and wigs for all those characters. So we had very long days. That one scene alone, we had a 19-hour, we had a 21-hour, I had a 26-hour long day. And hanging upside down for all this. or in a body cast.
We're glad you survived that.
Thank you. My back still hurts. But in the version of Paradox was 2 and 3 in the same script. In '88, it was the $40 million budget, which was the highest Universal budgeted film of that time ever. And they were about to pull the plug on it. And the producers got together, went back to Sheinberg and Wasserman and said, give us another $1 million and we'll give you 2 films. And so that's how that evolved.
Wow.
I
didn't know that.
He's got so much information.
I listen.
One last bit of dirt. So, in Back to the Future 2, because Marty has to go back to get the other Marty, so he comes to the dance and he has to go up over the band. So we had to shoot it in a totally different way. They had to build a sound stage, so we're shooting it offside. The character of Marty is on stage playing, and then there's a character of Marty going up. Well, then Marvin Berry comes off stage to go call Chuck and sees the Marty up there, and then sees the Marty on stage and goes, nah, and then goes to do the phone. The scene was cut. Yes. Thank you. Because I would have been the only person to see both Martys.
Oh, is it in the bonus material?
No.
Oh.
I have it in my life.
Excise.
Excise.
Yes.
But everybody knows it was there.